Peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing today? It's your boy Vic Slang Hope, just in case you ain't know. And I got another video. And today's video is about the 6 things that you should ask anybody who you're interested in courting or dating. Right? And the first thing is intentions. You have to ask people what is their intentions, right? And even though people might lie about what their intentions are, at least they communicated something that might help you out see what it is, right, that this person wants. Now, sometimes people are interested in marriage, they're dating to get married. Sometimes people just want a situationship. Sometimes people just want a relationship. Sometimes people just they just trying to smash, right? And of course, even though people might not tell you, it's good to always ask people, like, what are you trying to do here? Like, what you think you're gonna be doing here? Remember, like the jail story. When you get to jail, they ask you, what you think you're gonna be doing here? You with it? You with the program? You not with it? Like, nah. But on the real, you gotta ask people what's their intentions. Because later on, so grown up adults, they're gonna kind of like communicate, right? Somebody gonna tell you, oh, I'm not really looking for that. Like somebody, because if your intentions is for marriage and the other person is not, right, then, you use a communication. But you gotta ask people what is the intention. So later on, what I'm saying, you ain't feeling stupid. The second thing is you gotta ask people about their childhood. You have to ask people about their childhood and their relationship with their parents. That's something that is very important. A lot of times the relationship that the individual has with their parents says a lot about them. Also, the way that they was raised says a lot about them, right? Or any dangers and troubles that you might confront, right? Now, if a person grew up in a dysfunctional home, most of the times there might be some dysfunction in that person. Again, I say most of the times because y'all always be coming over here talking about the exception. I'm not saying all, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying most of the time, people that grow up in dysfunctional homes and have dysfunctional relationship with their parents, they tend to be a little dysfunctional. And that's something that, you should be wary of and look out for. The third thing is, how did their last relationship end? It's also a very important thing that you need to know. Even though a lot of times people come with their own little stories, with their own blame of their other partner, it's always good to know what happened. How did they end? And why did they end, right? Like, it's always important to kind of like get a scope on what's going on, or what was going on, that I mean. Because it's very vital. If this person was in a traumatizing relationship, if she was getting abused or he was getting abused, then there might be some trauma there. There might be something there that that affected them in a certain way. They might have certain triggers. So it's important to kind of like know, what happened with your last situation. I'm saying, why y'all ended, and how they ended. It's very important to know. The next thing, you gotta know. This is the fourth thing. If they want to have kids, this is a very important. Some people believe in getting married. I met people that say they want to get married, but they don't want to have kids. So, and then there's some people who do want to have kids, and I think that's a very important conversation when y'all talking about building towards a certain whatever y'all trying to build for. It's important to know if either person wants to have kids. This is something that is important. And a lot of times people get into a situation with people. I know couples that got together and one person didn't want to have a kid, and a lot of times people think they could change people, but you don't want to be in a situation where like somebody told you from the beginning they don't want to have kids, and you got in that situation being hopeful that you could change that person's mind. Get that out the way early. Another thing is, do they read or watch documentaries? It's very important. You don't want to be with a person who don't read and who don't watch or don't watch documentaries, right? You don't want to be with a person that can't teach you nothing, especially new information. If you don't read and you don't watch documentaries, right, most of the time you're not really getting no new information. You're not really getting no new information unless you're talking to like elders and getting some of that oral knowledge. But like for the most part, if you're not always trying to learn something new, always try to educate yourself, 9 times out of 10 you can't teach the other person something, right? So it's very important. If you're a person that is about growth and constantly growing and constantly learning and constantly doing certain things, you need to be with somebody who reads or at least watches documentaries to kind of like inform themselves. The last thing is number 6. What are they struggling with? You gotta ask people, what are they struggling with? Oftentimes people come around, right? Dating is like an interview. When you go get that job, when you go to interview for that job, right? You tell them all the good qualities you have, the good qualifications, the good things that you can do, all the skills that you have. But they always ask you, they might ask you, what is something that you struggle with? Or what is a negative thing about you, right? It's the same thing in relationships. In relationships, people are always talking about the good things that they do, and they never really talk about the downfall of messing with them, right? They never talk about the negative things that they're struggling with. They never talk about, the problems that they have. And of course, nobody wants to do that because everybody's in their best behavior at first. But I think more people need to start asking these type of questions about what are you struggling with? Because it kind of tells you something about the person, right? Most people might say, I'm not struggling with anything, right? That's a red flag automatically. If somebody tells you they're not struggling with anything, you probably should stop talking to them, because it's that's not true, right? Everybody is struggling with something. Everybody. So, yeah, you just need to know. I think we need to start asking people more, like, what do you have some problems with? Because if we kind of like knew the problems that they did have, sometimes we wouldn't get into certain situations with people if we knew what they really were struggling with. So, those are the 6 things, in my opinion, that I think you should ask. There might be more, but I just think these are vital. I'll go over them again. Is 1, intentions. 2, you got to ask about their childhood and their parents, their relationship with their parents. 3, how do they last relationship? And 4, you got to ask them about if they want to have kids or not. 5, do they read or watch documentaries? And 6, are they struggling with something? What are they struggling with? So let me know in the comment section what y'all think about my 6 picks. What did I miss? Do y'all agree? Do y'all disagree? Let me know in the comment section. Till next time. Peace.